Hello guys and welcome back to the Profit Manage channel. My name is Alex, and before we start, make sure to leave a like, comment down below and subscribe. So let's get straight into the chart. So in my last video guys, I said you can go and check by yourself on the first minute 15 seconds. I give you guys the levels to watch out for on the EST dominance chart. I said that 7.77 and 1% was your level of support. Fast forward to the day, and that's exactly right what ended up happening. I said that this was your level where you should have expected to see a reaction. And speaking about reaction, guys, so I was asked, okay, to make short form content because that's kind of what is more appealing on YouTube, right, and on social media. But the thing here is this: look, if you are serious about learning the stuff or keeping up with the stuff, right, you are gonna be making time for it. Like even when you're doom scrolling, right, and before you know it, it's been an hour, it's been 2 hours that you basically have done nothing besides brain rotting your brain, right? You need to make time for things that you say to yourself that matter to you, right? If this stuff right here matters to you, you're gonna be making time for it. Like I cannot squeeze in 60 seconds or less what I need to explain properly and show how everything is connected, something that usually takes me 20 to 30 minutes at the very least on the YouTube channel. Like, don't even let's not even speak about the content that I make for premium, because that's at least 40 minutes and above, right? You gotta make time for it. I understand that people are busy, everybody's busy, but you gotta make time for things that are important to you, right? You make time for the gym, for example. That takes time out of your day, but because you deem it as important, right, you make time for it. So the same must be said, right, about watching these videos, about actually keeping up with things that you need to keep up with if you actually want to get ahead, right, in this particular market in which we're in, which is cryptocurrency. So that's kind of something that I wanted to say before I started this particular video. But then once again, guys, I do this not just on this particular video, but I do this on every single video, because the thing about these videos is I explain to you how I find these particular levels, and then I update you guys on every single one of these videos. Whether you are on the free YouTube channel or whether you are in premium, you get levels on every single video, and they are updated. Those are levels that you should be having on your chart, whether through a form of alert or through a form of the same technical analysis stuff that I teach you. And you can actually learn it for free if you want on the Profit Manage channel. You just go to playlist, and then you go to mentorship 2025. Here you get free content, okay, and you will actually learn more if you actually start to binge watch some of these videos, okay, where you can actually see how I make some of these charts and how I actually explain the way that I trade. And then if you want to get make things even easier for you and get become more advanced, there is a Discord where you can of course find all of my other stuff, more details about my trading strategy, my portfolio, my altcoins, and all kind of that stuff right there. If you guys want to see my portfolio, my coins, how much I've invested in each coin, my entry prices, and you want to get all of my trades and exit signals, then check out the link down below. You can subscribe to our premium group. This is going to be the best deal that you can get right now. The prices will go up very soon. We want to lock in as many people as possible before the old season starts, because once the old season starts, guys, it will be too late and it will be time to sell, not to buy. So make sure to join Profit Manage as soon as possible. Get in, secure your spot, and make this your life-changing cycle. So let's get actually straight into the charts now. Sorry, but I actually had to say all of that. So USD dominance chart, guys, very simple. At this moment, you're getting a reaction. That reaction at this moment leads you back up to potentially 8.33%. Okay, we are still in a situation where we don't necessarily know if you're going to see a breakout to the upside or not on the USD dominance chart. So this, until proven incorrect, I think should still be deemed only as a retest. Okay, if you're sitting in shorts, this is a level to watch out for as of today. From tomorrow, you're looking at um, 8.35 and 7 approximately. That would be a level to watch out for a potential reaction that could actually change the trend. Okay, but at this moment in time, what I see is a trend line that is missing the third touch, and we are actually getting, we will be touching it today if we get up to 8.48%, which is a little bit higher than 8.33%, but it's fine because I give you guys an area to watch out for in this particular region. This is a level of resistance that is between 8.32 to 8.72 and 9%. So even though we have been spending a little bit of time here, you can actually see that every single time that we have tested this particular level of resistance, we've actually rejected as of right now. So in my opinion, what we may potentially see here, and I'll give you guys two different possibilities, but we may see something like this, where you see the drive to the upside, third touch, bull trap, continuation to the downside. And when I say bull trap, of course, it's for the shorts, as this is the USD dominance chart. Okay. Another thing that could potentially happen here something like this, where you touch it, third touch, you reject back down, but then you squeeze back up and you actually make a new all-time high on the USD dominance chart. That will of course break the current level of support on something like Bitcoin. We will then be going below 59.9, but I don't personally think that that is going to be the case. I'm going to show you guys why. So at this moment right now, guys, I will be watching out for 8.33. You can actually create a zone within a zone using my method, because what that allows you to do is give you concentrated area of where you should be focusing more at this moment in time, because we said, right, that we have this trend line right here where we could potentially see a reaction, but we don't necessarily know when it's going to happen, right? So let's say that from today, Friday, to Thursday of next week, there is the potential of us reaching into this region. So there is the potential of going a little bit lower, unless we do it, just quick, get it over with, and start to push back up. Because one thing that you gotta realize is that in this sort of a market, guys, you gotta focus more on the weekly and monthly time frame, even the daily time frame, guys. If you've been watching the videos, honestly, there's been quite a few times, maybe not too much on the YouTube channel, because there are times where I just do not upload, just because there's not really much to talk about. But on the premium channels, right? I've had situations where I've had to say the same thing over and over again because there wasn't really much that was going on, and I'm not going to be breaking down the super low time frames at this moment because it just doesn't make any sense from what I personally think it's coming. We are expecting to see a very important move back up to the market in this year, so that's where my focus is at this moment. And yeah, these are the levels on the USD dominance chart. Let's currently go to the total 3 minus Solana and BNB. So you guys can see that here, for example, we are still holding my level of support for this week, which is $562 billion. This is a good sign, guys. At this moment, you got to realize that we haven't really been anywhere that we haven't been before, and that the rejection back down that you guys are seeing at this moment in the market can actually be justified if you guys understand how to use the trend lines. One touch, second touch, third touch, bull trap, continuation to the downside. But of course, if you're swing trading like I am right now with the swings, you're not gonna be reactive to every single time that the market does something like this, right? No, if anything, you accommodate for this type of stuff by having a bigger stop loss. Okay, and that's kind of what I'm doing here, because here, as you guys can see, we have had, and let me actually open up Bitcoin right here. One touch, second touch, third touch, bull trap, push back down. Here we're still missing the third touch. So what do you expect to happen here? Well, I think that it's reasonable to expect to see something like this, where potentially we even take out the slow, but we break this trend line, third touch, we reclaim it, and then up we go. That's kind of how I think that it will play out as of right now. What could potentially happen next? That's a different story, guys. At this moment, I am at least I would say short to mid-term bullish, despite the possibility of seeing a little bit of of a push to the downside over the course of the next few days or hours. I don't know how long it will take at this moment, but that's kind of beside the point, because from there onwards, I think that we should be seeing a relief to the upside, especially as we enter the month of March and we get the weekly and the monthly candle closure for February. So I think that we are going to be seeing, whether it happens at the beginning of the month or after a few days, which is definitely a possibility, guys. A push to the upside. Okay, after the push to the upside, we should be hitting a level of resistance. From there, we can reassess, because there is that risk of pushing back down lower. Now, in my previous videos, guys, okay, and if you're on the YouTube channel, you guys should have seen that I'm still believing in old season. Yes, I said year is where big old season begins and all that kind of stuff. And if you guys have watched these videos, I've always stated, when it was appropriate to state it, right, that I am bullish, but I'm not bullish necessarily on Bitcoin. So the question is, can all coins run even in extreme fear for Bitcoin? And I think yes, I think that it will definitely be the case. I think that it's going to take some time, and I think that perhaps Bitcoin has stopped. There's a very high probability. I think over 90% that Bitcoin has stopped right here. I don't think that we need Bitcoin to be the star of the show for the altcoins to start pumping. I think that we need to see Bitcoin stabilizing, or at least find its bottom, which I don't think that it's that far away. We could push a little bit lower, sure, but I don't think that that is too much of an issue here. Even here to the 222 chart, guys, I gave you these levels for a reason, and you can see the reaction that you have gotten on each of these levels. This was your area to close your longs and look for shorts. This was your area to long and close your shorts, and that's exactly what I should have done. And if you have done that, guys, I'm giving you a game right here, and I'm telling you guys how to actually do this yourself, which is insane if you think about it, because you guys are seeing through these videos how it works. Okay, and it's easy. It's trend line channels, guys. It's literally, you just need to learn how to place a damn trend line, which it seems stupid, but most people don't know how to use it. And I've seen even good analysts, right, you know have charts that I am questioning, where are you even drawing this trend line to, right? It makes no sense to me. But anyway, guys, we are in a squeezing point. We are in a range here on the total two. You're waiting to see a breakout, whether to the upside or to the downside. I don't think that it really matters, because even if we were to go to the downside, right, and we were to lose $901 billion, that will push us down to 806, which is, guys, the C19 trend, and you guys can see the reaction that we have gotten every single time, okay, that we hit this particular trend line. This is what kick-started this particular bull run. This is what has created, from a technical standpoint, the bull run that we have known of 2021. Okay, so it's a very important trend, and all of these charts, as you guys will see in a second, are actually lining up to hit this particular trend line. And it kind of seems like they are likely all going to do it on the same time frame or same period. So that's why I'm saying, like I've said in the previous videos, I don't know, maybe I think that there's a good chance that we bottom somewhere around here and we don't hit the trend line, and we push up and then we go into the trend in a few months. But okay, I also said this. I said, if we were to push down now and get it over with, that is still amazing, because what that tells us is that the bottom is in, and on the next correction, the next significant correction that we're going to see over the course of the next few months, after a significant push to the upside, okay, I think that will create a higher low, okay, and I think that it will be paired with a very bad narrative that will make people want to sell their assets. But instead, we will see that the market is actually going to be resilient, and it will actually prepare for a significant leg to the upside. So that's kind of how I'm preparing for it. You don't have to follow me, but if you guys have been watching my stuff and you guys know the stuff that I've been calling on Involio over the course of the last few years. You guys know that I've been preparing for this specific moment for this entire cycle, pretty much. Okay, there was a time to be super bearish, and I was bearish when everybody else was bullish. And you don't have to believe it. You can watch the videos. You can go on involio.com/Alex Trades, follow my profile, and you will see the post when I was warning people of everything that was going to happen. And the moment that I flipped bullish was on October 10th, once we got the liquidation crash. Okay, that's the moment that I started to be more bullish, and I like to anticipate the trends. Okay, so I'm telling you that it's going to be bullish. You may have a little bit more of a downside, maybe, but this is definitely a good time to take action. Not financial advice, but this is stuff that I will personally be doing myself. So, guys, I'm telling you, I come here on YouTube and I'm telling you guys repeatedly what I think that it's likely going to happen, and I generally believe in what I'm seeing. So I'm just here to track with you guys every single step of the way. So total one chart, guys, I give you this pattern in this video right here. Bitcoin dump, but I was showing you guys. You guys can also see it from the this video that is currently playing. That I was having this projection right here before it happened. Right now, guys, you gotta realize that we have actually formed a double bottom. Where did you find resistance? Well, at my levels. Okay, this is where you found resistance, and now you're pushing down. Now, technically, your level of support, yes, is going to be down into this region, but there's a big but about it. And let me actually fix this label right here by placing it correctly. 2.31 trading is your level of resistance. 208 is your level of support. That if you were to see a push to the downside here, that will not necessarily take out this wick. Okay, which will make the formation still at play. There are scenarios where you do see that taken out and still playing out, but I don't even think that we have to look that low. I think that what's more important here is to realize that there is a trend line right here that is missing the third touch. So just like I showed you guys, and by the way, I've changed layout just in case you guys haven't noticed. This is the contrarian layout. Where is it? I think it was this one right here, total two chart right here. So third touch here as well, guys. We're missing a third touch. Where is it? Perfect alignment here with 901 today. This could still definitely happen tomorrow. We will see, but there's quite a lot of alignments here. You guys can see on Bitcoin there is a trend line that is also missing a third touch on the same exact structure. So you have confluence that tells you that after that you should be seeing a decent move back up to the upside. So in my opinion, what we are going to be seeing is something like along the lines of this, back down, bear trap, continuation higher. After that, guys, I think that we have to look up into the 2.9 to maybe even $3 trillion, but at least $2.9 trillion. I think that is next, and we're gonna be taking things one step at a time. And at this moment, it looks like it's going to be definitely very bullish, but you need to kind of hold on to your horses. Don't be shaken out here. The market is not done playing tricks. So I think that this extra push to the downside is just going to be beneficial. And I've been calling for the bottom, right? You guys can see I made this post on December 15th, okay? And this is when I released it publicly. I was talking about it earlier, I believe, in my premium group. Don't take this don't quote me on this. I think that it was earlier than December. I'm not too sure, but even there, it doesn't matter. I think that it's quite impressive because, I said that from February 17th that we will transition to high volatility consolidation distribution phase. Year I made a statement publicly on January 30th. I said before February 17th, the bottom will be in my opinion. Now, if I'm going to be wrong about it, so be it. But so far, we got the bottom on February 6th. And we have had now a bullish formation created after February 17th. So I personally believe that this low is going to hold for now. I think there is a good chance that we will see a push to the upside before we start to consider the possibility of making another low. Okay, that's kind of how I'm seeing it right now. So Yes, you did face resistance, but your first level of support, guys, is actually right here. Okay, 2.16 trillion dollars. So this is something that you gotta watch out for. Moving on, we got a total two chart right here. This is an area where I was expecting to see a bounce, and I think that we're preparing for it. You can see the guys that we have a C19 trending channel. This is a trending channel that has always acted as a bottom. You know, this is where we have launched from in 2023. This is also where we've had the bottom created as of right now. We had the wick fishing right here. But even if we were to go and take out this wick on the total 2 chart, I'm showing you guys this other perspective based on this particular chart and this particular TA, I still think that this is going to be beneficial. And like I said over here, guys, if we strike this lower trend line, the better, because it will give us enough of a slingshot back up. Most people will not even realize it's possible. And what I said earlier, guys, of if we were to see a push down rather than later, is still very good. I still believe that if that were to be the case, that the next significant correction back down will be a higher low. It will not be a lower low. I do not see that happening. So it doesn't matter to me whether we do it right now or not. Personally, I don't think that we will. But at the same time, this is the situation, and that's why you're not seeing a breakout. I'm gonna show you guys why. You are in this situation where you're moving between a bearish trend line channel and a bullish trend line channel. So you're squeezing. You guys can see how price action is right at this moment. It's squeezed between these two areas. So you gotta wait. Okay, if you cannot find a setup, you don't have to force it. That's the thing that most people do not realize. I'm seeing people taking trades left and right and center and then messing up for this particular reason. Don't trade if you can't see it. Um, Total 3, guys, same trend line, still the third touch that is missing. So here, for example, we have actually found resistance on my trend line on February 15th, and from there, we just went lower. So at this moment, I'm gonna be dragging the level of resistance up to 750. You guys can see that the more time passes, the higher this target goes. But on trend line that point down, and I don't even know why this is not like this at this moment, but still, you guys can see that in this particular case, this trending goes lower and therefore the target goes lower. But you analyze the situation for what it is, right? You have a potential double bottom created. You have a small market structure shift, not too impressive to be honest. I would have preferred that we have taken out this side, but we did not. Doesn't matter. You're still holding above the golden pocket. Okay, you're still above the golden ratio. You may potentially retest it because the trending says so, but afterwards, I think that it's likely going to be a catalyst for a push to the upside. So your level of support for now looks to be around 688 and 83 or 81, I should say. $681 billion. That's kind of your level of support for a total 3 chart. You lose that, and yeah, we are going to 620, but it's also third touch that is missing. So I think that will still create a push to the upside. So either way, regardless of how you want to see it, it's bullish. Okay, it's super bullish what I'm seeing. Your orders are not really moving. They're actually up this week, even though it's light. It doesn't really matter. It's a doji, so we can expect to see some volatility if the candle closes in this manner. And as of next week we may see a lot of volatility for the altcoins, whether up or down. That's another story. But you're, like I said, if we were to see a push to the downside, okay, it's super beneficial here because there's a lot of strength here coming for the altcoins. With over 6 trend lines that are basically here to support the move, okay, back up. And it all starts between $149 billion to $125 billion. So I feel very confident, okay, in saying that once we get here, if we were to see a push to the downside and take out the slow before we see any push to the upside, like I'm depicting here with this projection, I feel very confident into saying that this is going to be where the bottom is found on this particular chart. we can come back to this once it happens or once enough time goes by. I feel like this is where the bottom is going to be. I just see a lot of support. I see the C19 trend line, guys. I see a lot of reasons here for support to be found. I see a reason to have a liquidity grab. Take out the slow, sell side liquidity, push to the upside, go for buy side liquidity. Buy side liquidity is where pretty much at ultimate territory. There's a trend line, third touch is missing, push to the upside, take it out, reversal back down, and before you know it, guys, you are aiming for this trend right here that most people are not even considering at this moment, but I see it, and I see it pointing up to, in Q4 around $680 billion. That is for the order chart. That is almost that is 5 times where we are right now. Like, think about it. That is a brand new all-time high, and I think that it will hit at least my conservative trending channel, which is aiming to be around up here. Okay, so that's even $700 billion, definitely a possibility. So, if we squeeze even further, that's $1 trillion. But maybe over the course of the next few years, we will see about that. But many reasons for me to be bullish at this moment. I don't care about short-term downside here. I generally don't see the point of worrying, where we have already done the most of this move. Okay, so what's another extra 10% to the downside from where we are right now? And 10%, of course, is just an example. So I'm meant to be the exact levels. But, Solana, guys, I'm in a long. I said that I was longing 77.46 right here, because it's a level of support of my parallel channel. This is a channel that I've made around May of 2025 to premium. I said that this was going to see a push to the upside before a correction back down, and after getting down into this region, that I was expecting to see Solana making a new all-time high potentially here. My projection here says that, and this is the original one. This is something that I've added later, but my original projection wanted to see Solana go back down to at least $59. Okay, so just be mindful. Okay, right now I have a reason to also have added this as a possibility, which is where we are currently holding as a support. That's why I'm only aiming for $123. To me, it makes sense if we push the upside now and go and finish the rest of the move to the downside later, after pushing back up, liquidating all these shorts that I've been building up right here, and then push back down, finalize the bottom, people are selling, whales are buying, push it up to a new all-time high. To me, it all makes sense. I see the vision of what they're doing, and I don't know, if you can't, I don't know what to tell you. Moving on, this is Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, guys, already kind of said it before. Third touch of the trailing year, I want to see a push to the downside, and that will take it back to around $63,000. I don't think that any extra push to the downside, despite of course, the possibility and the chance of taking out the slow, I don't think that it will touch a slow right here. I think that will actually probably be something that happens later down the line. So my idea is this: take it out, push to the upside, and we start to aim for maybe the 80Ks. If we're lucky, even the 90s, but that's something that I don't really see as of right now, or at least rather than say I don't see, not my focus at this moment. Okay, let's first get here and then we reassess. Okay, but this is kind of what I'm more focusing on. I will also show you guys why I'm focusing on that. Give me guys a second here. The reason why I'm focusing around the 80Ks is very simple. We got a CME future gap right here. The gap goes from 84 to pretty much, yeah, 78 to 84K, and the price is a little bit different. The CME is usually always a bit higher, but here we can already try to cover it a little bit. So the gap, realistically speaking, is this one, and that's between $79,000 to $84,000. The market has a tendency of always going back to these gaps and recover them. For example, here we gapped to the upside, push back down. Gap to the upside, push back down. Gap to the upside, push back down. Gap to the upside, we know that we have pushed down because, of course, we know where we're currently trading. Gap to the upside, push back down. Guys, I could go on and on and on. Of course, there are gaps that are not filled. I know that, okay? But the more extreme ones, so for example, the ones that we have at 20, 10K and such, it's more for bear market stuff and more macro movements, more than we need to focus on right now. Can gap stay unfulfilled? Like I said, right now, yes. For example, right now we have a gap between 115 to around 117 right here. Right now what I'm focusing more on is this. I see Bitcoin stabilizing. I understand why it is stabilizing here through technical analysis, and that's why I think that um, upon the push to the ups that we are likely going to get into this region. Okay. Moving on, Bitcoin dominance. So right now, kind of stalling. Like I said, guys, it doesn't matter what Bitcoin dominance does. Until Bitcoin stabilizes, its altcoins are not going to run. Once Bitcoin stabilizes and this either ranges as it's doing right now or starts to drop, then that's where you will start to see altcoins outperforming. We can already seen that, guys. In the last pump, we have seen altcoins starting to move. They have been subtly, they've been doing it, but it's not really showing too much unless you're paying attention. Moving on, Ethereum, guys, I'm still in a long. It doesn't matter the drawdown because I understand that I have a trend right here from C19, which is currently pointing to $1,600. That's kind of where I'm planning on adding it into this long. So to me, I'm taking 2x long, 2x longs on Ethereum. I'm more interested in the swing at this moment rather than trying to play, very small moves. I don't think that really makes sense at this moment, at least based on my trading style. I like to keep things simple and go more strategic when I need to. Right here, I see the third touch potentially happening, taking us down to around $1,800. Here we have already had the third touch, guys. 1, 2, 3, bull trap, push back down. You guys start to see the pattern of how many times that happens, and based on what I've showed you guys in this video alone. So I have reasons to believe that we are likely going to see I push back up eventually after we finish off this correction to the downside, which is okay. Moving on, we got a total 3 minus 1 MB, XRP, USDC, USD. I think I already said that. I'm trying to say it off the top of my head, but anyway, so here what I see is as follows. I gave you guys this level of resistance, and lo and behold, right? And acted as a resistance. So as of today, your level of resistance is right here. I said that this is the level that determines the breakout. I said this in the previous video. And right now, that level is currently placed at $232 billion. But because we have rejected from here, okay, this is something that we have seen, okay, over the course of pretty much entire video up until now. And we're missing the third touch on this particular trend lines. How surprising, right? So I'm excited to see push to the downside from there. I think that we will retest this region and potentially even break out. What did we correct? Well, 1, 2, 3, third touch. If I push it up, we didn't touch it. So this is going to be a target in the future. Okay. Otherwise, you could also go and look at it from this perspective. 1, 2, 3, third touch. Right now we are testing support, technically speaking. But if we break below, it's likely going to hit this region back down in this particular trend line. So here we have multiple ways of kind of looking at it, to be honest. For example, if you just go from wake to body, we have broken it down. This is one moment, in my opinion, to kind of look at it from a trend line channel perspective, because here you can kind of see how it's going to be unfolding a little bit better, in my opinion. Especially if you do it this way. So rejection. So this is going to be the trending channel, in my opinion, from where you need to break out from. Okay. Once you break above and you hold it as a support, guys, we are ready to see a move to the upside. That is pretty interesting. But right now, this is currently what you're battling with. So let me know your thoughts, guys. Let me know if you enjoyed this type of video. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace.